If I could have the presentation up, please. My name is George Duyos with JRD and Associates. I've been working with the city for under a year now on its annexation efforts, and have a brief presentation for you this morning on the efforts to date and the path moving forward. So over the last year, going back to August of 22, there have been several resolutions passed by the Commission moving the annexation efforts forward for both High Pines, Ponce Davis, and Little Gables. As you know, High Pines, Ponce Davis did not have the requisite number of petitions returned to the city, so that annexation effort is not moving forward. We're here to talk about Little Gables. We also, in the last few months, conducted analysis with the city departments that would be providing services to the residents of Little Gables, as well as the associated financial requirements for providing those services. The city manager had internal meetings with each of you to brief you on those efforts. Subsequent to that, meeting notice flyers were mailed, as well as petitions to all registered voters in the Little Gables area. There were 1,661 registered voters with a deadline of October 9th last month to return the petitions. The city hosted a community meeting, which I facilitated on September 27th for residents of Little Gables to be informed on the annexation process, the services to be provided by the city, and the financial impact of annexation. We had over 100 residents of the Little Gables area attend, 105 residents attended. So very good turnout for that meeting. Subsequent to October 9th, the city tallied the petitions to determine if the process could go forward to the county for annexation. Minimum 20% of registered voters was required, and a total of 356 petitions were received. That was 21.43%. So that exceeded the required 333, or 20%, to initiate the process. And then, so we're here today to brief you and give you an update on where we are and the process moving forward. So, as you all are very familiar, this is a map of Little Gables, bordered on the west by Cortez Street, Southwest 47th Avenue, on the north by Southwest 8th Street, on the east by Salcedo and Southwest 40th Avenue, and on the south by Mendoza, Southwest 16th Street. With respect to the services that would be provided by the city to Little Gables, and this information was provided at the community meeting. Just go real quickly through each of the departments. Police services would be 3 officers, essentially 1 patrol unit, staffed 24/7, and the addition also of a neighborhood service aide. Fire rescue services would be 6 firefighters, which is 2 additional firefighters on an existing truck to provide 24/7 coverage. There would be a new waste pickup route established for the Little Gables area, so that would be the addition of 11 operators between waste collectors, supervisors, etc. With respect to community recreation, the expenses related to upgrading San Jacinto Park, there would be an initial investment in the first year to bring it up to Coral Gables standards at a minimum. And then landscape and infrastructure services, several staff, as well as associated expenditures. Again, tree trimming, public works type services for the Little Gables area. And then building permitting and zoning and code enforcement. You see there's additional staff outlined there. These wouldn't be dedicated completely to the Little Gables area, but these departments are experiencing some shortage right now in staffing, so the addition of an area such as Little Gables would require the department to be brought up to where they need to be brought up to from a staffing perspective. With respect to timetable for providing services, this is very variable. This would be worked out in the interlocal agreement with the county should annexation go forward. But the city would anticipate a time frame of somewhere between 9 to 12 months to provide service from the day annexation is approved. And ideally, October 1st would be a start date, depending on when the referendum would take place by those voting for it if it goes forward in Little Gables. October 1st would allow for a full year of property tax revenue to come over from the county to provide all the services that are needed to be required. Cost estimates for providing services. You see here a summary of projected total revenues and total expenditures. The expenditures in the first year are significantly higher than other years because of the ramp up, the addition of the new staff, equipment, vehicles, et cetera. I will say that the revenue was determined based on how the city budgets and does its financial revenue forecast. It is probably a conservative number because it does not take into account any revitalization or significant turnover of residential property in the area, which in the last couple of years has gone up. But these numbers are based on the budgeting process by the city. The tax load on Little Gables, again, this chart was demonstrated in the community meeting in September. These are some examples of what the incremental additional tax cost would be to residents. So as an example, if the taxable value is $350,000, the additional tax paid by current Little Gables residents would be $767 per year. And you see the different examples we laid out there. The next step would be, if this goes forward, to bring a resolution, the City Commission passing a resolution basically authorizing the manager to submit the annexation application to the county. These are the contents. The application requirements are required under County Code Section 20-3, and you see the requirements here. There's already a draft of the application should it go forward. But these are all of the contents that are required by the county to move the application forward. As far as the annexation process going forward, I believe Naomi recently made a presentation to the commission on all of the steps going forward that need to take place. It's a lengthy process. There's a lot of steps. It's a timely process. It's probably a year once the annexation resolution goes forward to the county. It has to go through several processes throughout the county, several public hearings, has to go to their planning advisory board for recommendation to the county commission. And finally, it would, at some point, if it goes all the way through the process, be on a ballot for the residents of Little Gables to vote. Upon that vote, if in the affirmative, then an interlocal agreement is executed with the county for transference of service revenues and any other considerations that might be included. So and there you see all of the lengthy steps. So brief presentation, just wanted to bring you up to date and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions from the commission before I open it up to the public?